There's managers here that are driving the business, that are doing things every single day. They're running the place. And it's exciting to see that.
They made it easy. They got just the right people. The one thing that's always been instilled with all of us is the customer service aspect of it.
And I think those customers, especially contractors that come back every single week, it's important that they feel like you're reducing friction in their business and making their life easier.
We have very young people that have just come into the business and they just try to embrace everything, learn everything that you can. Everybody's there to help you, so just take everything you can in and, embrace it.
Welcome to the Grit Blueprint Podcast, the playbook for building unmistakable brands that grow, lead, and last in the built world. I'm Stephanie Couch, the founder of Grit Blueprint, and I'm a lifelong building industry insider. I was raised here, built my career here, and now my team and I help others win here. The truth is, you can be the best option in your space and still lose to someone else who simply shows up better and more consistently. Each week on the Grit Blueprint, I'm going to show you how to stand out, earn trust, and turn your brand into a competitive advantage that lasts. If you're ready to be seen, known, chosen, and become unmistakable, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Thank you for joining me on the Grit Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Couch, and I am here live from the great state of Texas today, and I am interviewing my friend Kristy. You are actually from one of the nation's best stores, and we are here at the nation's best women's retreat in Glen Rose, Texas at the Rough Creek Ranch. So welcome to the show, Kristy.
Thank you. My name's Kristy Labrecque. I'm from Berlin, New Hampshire. We were store number 20 acquired at Nation's Best, Karen Building and Rental Center.
Amazing. Well, tell me a little bit about you. You actually have been at Karen for 37 years. You have done every job at the store, I think, and you have been there since high school. Your dad actually encouraged you to apply for this job. So tell me a little bit about you and your story and how you got started.
So my grandfather and Morris Karen, who was the owner of the family business, were friends, and my dad actually worked there briefly. He was more from the grocery industry, but he was there for about 6 months or so. And again, knowing the family for a long time, he found out they were looking for a part-time girl and encouraged me to go and interview, which I did. Back then, when there were no cell phones, it was definitely a landline. So by the time I got back home, that phone was ringing and I got the job.
What was
I was
the first
a senior
job?
in high school, cashier.
Okay.
I did do some work in the afternoons in the office because I would come in after school, so I'd work 2:30 to 5, Monday through Thursday. Back then, the store was open until 8 o'clock at night on Friday, so then I would work downstairs at the front desk, and then all day on Saturdays.
Tell me a little bit about the store back then. Was it contractor based? Was it mostly walk-in? What type of business was it?
Definitely mostly contractor based.
Okay.
And back then it was booming. It was so busy. And I think that's what I liked. It was hectic and it was busy. It was fun. The family was great to work for and the contractors were fun. And I was nervous because I didn't know anything back then, but it was good.
How did you find working with contractors when you didn't know anything? How was that? Because I remember when I was young, that was one of the things I was most worried about, is someone was going to ask me something and I had no idea what the answer was.
Right. So a lot of support. Definitely had we've always had great sales support, always helping and stuff. So there's always somebody there to answer that question.
Did they ever send you looking in aisle 12 for a board stretcher?
That's always been a little bit of a joke, the board stretcher. But no, I never had to go look for it. They caught me first time on that, though. I'm not going to lie.
They did send me to aisle 12 for the board stretcher, and I was bound and determined to find it.
Oh, no.
I did not. But I looked with the most valiant effort that one could have, but never found that board stretcher.
That's funny. That is funny.
Oh gosh, they were jerks, but it's okay. I was very young when that happened, and it's funny to think about that. I also remember in high school when I was a softball player, they had me go look for hunting snipes, which is an imaginary bird that doesn't exist too. So I guess maybe I was a little gullible. It was really my need to win, I think. I love it. Well, you've done every job, and you've been in HR, you've been in all the sales roles, you've worked a lot. What is your favorite job you've ever had over your career?
So I still kind of work in all of them in one way or another to this day. I think one of the things we can be mostly proud of is when we opened that rental center back in 2017. It was like from the ground up. It was something brand new. It was in a different building. I went to the Do It Best show. We purchased equipment. Mike included me like right from the ground floor with that. My husband came with us to help shop for equipment because he knew stuff. So that was pretty rewarding because that was like a whole new avenue to the business.
How's that doing now? I mean, it's been a long time, a good while.
Excellent.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
And when you were doing that with Do It Best and going to the whole thing, like what was the thought of like, what if this doesn't work? I mean, was that scary?
It was. I mean, and I remember Mike talking about that a lot. So we have a commercial rental center that was down the road from us. And they were trying to get away from that homeowner and definitely go more commercial. So they were very supportive of us, kind of told us different things we should be doing.
Yeah.
From there, we became a steel authorized dealer. That happened, I think, within a year of when we opened it. And then we have a huge service department. So we have a rental manager, and we have a rental repair center. So, and that technician does so much.
Wow. Yeah, there's so much in the industry like that you don't think about. Saturday projects people need stuff for, and just little tools that you don't want to have to go purchase, but you can come and check out. Do you rent heavy equipment too?
We rent like skid steers, man lifts, about up to that, a mini excavator.
Do they just let anyone come in and get those? Like, could I just go in and rent an excavator?
If you have a license.
Oh, shoot. You have to have a license. That's disappointing.
Yeah, I know.
Because, I could just see myself like on a Saturday just having a fun time in a field somewhere with a mini excavator that I'm not really required to have a license. I would try that out.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to sign a damage waiver, you got to sign the contract, and it's going to come back. We're going to be able to rent it again. So
darn. That may not be the best thing to rent to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
You put me on your blacklist. Well, you worked for this amazing family, the Karen family, and you were talking a little bit about some of your memories with them, and I know you really were very close, almost like family to them. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to work for them and then now transition into being purchased by Nation's Best.
They were amazing. Like Morris, some people would be a little like intimidated by him, but we just always hit it off. And I worked closely with him when he was in the store. He was the one I reported the AR to, and we counted inventory together. We did all the pricing together. And then, Mike worked on the weekends. So, we were always working with him. And then I worked directly under their sister, Monique, who passed away suddenly in 2015. So that was, at that point, even though I was very involved in the business, I definitely, stepped up and took a leadership role, to support the family, support the employees. It was a very sad time, but
yeah, it's tough. Family business is hard, and then when someone like that gets out of the business or passes away, it's a big change because it's like a shift in the whole ecosystem.
It was a huge change.
Well, I'm sure they were very grateful for you for, stepping up. You then were there through the acquisition with Nation's Best, and what year was that?
That was, we started the process in late 2020, and we were acquired in July of 2021.
And obviously the world was in complete calamity at that time with COVID. So it's such a huge undertaking to take on anyway. And then you add that on to the amount of stress that COVID brought into our industry.
Right.
Plus, it was the busiest time we've ever had.
It was.
What was that like for you going through that and then really championing and being right alongside during the acquisition process?
So I feel like we went right from COVID to that. And during COVID, dealing with a lot of, the PPP plans and all that other stuff. It was crazy. There was just paperwork. And so then we kind of kicked right off into due diligence process for Nation's Best. And that was huge.
Yeah.
That was it was a huge undertaking. And then as it went, we were going through it. Then there was a waiting period where we just kind of sat and waited. And then I was there when Mike got the phone call and decided that he was definitely selling the business.
So what was that like for your team being acquired and then you having to lead them through, how to change over from one family business for so long to something new?
So a lot of it, nobody knew. I mean, I think sometimes people definitely suspected something was up. I mean, I was kind of like did nothing in the store for, I don't know, it feels like 3 months. I just was kind of locked in the office. But for me personally, it was, where do I fit in? I mean, honestly, that was a big part of it. The team, I think they always kind of just followed maybe my lead because I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've always been kind of like their confidant or liaison between the Karens and, the rest of the employees for whatever reason, but I've always had their trust.
Yeah.
So I think just tried to be positive, even though I was in a world of uncertainty myself. But I definitely tried to stay positive for all of them.
What gives you the strength to stay in the leadership role, and really when you are uncertain or you're not, feeling the best about things sometimes of what it might mean for you? What gives you the strength to do that for other people where you're still the one that's saying everything's going to be okay and we're going to get through this?
I had conversations with some of the people at Nation's Best, which were helpful. Mike definitely he definitely kept me in the loop. He still was very encouraging, and he was very honest with me. And so I think, it was always like, it's going to be okay. And, I was rest assured that there were other things that could be going on in the company, that if I needed something, that just to raise my hand and they'd find a spot for me. But like in the first few months, there wasn't a lot of change because we were way up in New Hampshire and we were still doing business as usual.
Yeah.
In the store, I think we went live with Epicor in October, and that brought some, even though we had been on Epicor forever, we've never been on anything else, that still we were doing things Nation's Best wasn't quite doing, so there was a huge transition period there. So right up until December, I was pretty busy, and then finally I was able to travel a little bit with Tina's team starting in January.
Yeah, how has that been? So you've been traveling, going with Tina has a team doing ERP integrations throughout the company. So tell me about that, because it's a little new adventure for you to be out and about doing other things outside. I'm sure going all over, right?
It was. I mean, so I had never been on a plane by myself, so that was interesting. My first time I was going to New Mexico. I was like, okay, but it was good. Like, I was nervous because I didn't really know anybody. I had met Tina and a couple of others a handful of times, but we got there and we just started working. It was a really had a rough start, this transition, because Epicor wasn't quite ready and whatever. So it was not an easy conversion. But we got through it, and it's like we stay in Airbnbs. We get up in the morning, we have coffee together.
That's nice.
We go back, we cook in. So you're spending a lot of time together, and you're getting to know, and then you just build those relationships again, right? So now it's like you're living together like a family type thing. There's so many people in Nation's Best that really, when we come to these functions, it's like, we're comfortable, right? They made it easy. They got just the right people.
Yeah, this is a great group. We're here with 50 plus women, and we're in this incredible scenery, actually,
Beautiful.
Like so pretty. But I've had some great conversations already in the last 24 hours since we got here, and it just has a certain pulse to it, this group, and you can feel that everybody's very passionate about it. Also very knowledgeable about the industry. Like, I've talked to a lot of women here about some real nerdy door and window and lumber and hardware stuff.
Yep.
And that's always so cool to me, because you meet a lot of people and you never know what role they're in. But there's managers here that are driving the business, that are doing things every single day. They're running the place. And it's exciting to see that. What do you think for a woman that is going into the industry or thinking about doing something in this industry? What would you tell them about the building industry in general?
Well, so we have like couple of very young people that have just come into the business, and then just try to embrace everything, learn everything that you can. Everybody's there to help you. So just take everything you can in and, embrace it. I'm not a huge salesperson. I've been in the business for 37 years, definitely more at an administrative level, but I still know, I know the basics.
Yeah.
And I see, we have a very young girl, for instance, that I can think of right now that's been in there, and she's now selling windows and doors.
That's awesome.
And she's only 27 years old, and it's like she wants to learn everything.
Yeah. That hunger is, you can see it in certain people, and it does make you want to help them win, because when somebody wants to win and they ask for help, it's almost impossible to tell them no if you have the resources to help them.
Exactly.
So, and I remember being that person, and still am in a lot of situations where I want to just gobble up whatever knowledge I can get. And I've seen that a lot this weekend while we've been here. It's been really fun.
Yeah.
You have some different parts of your business that maybe are a little bit unknown to some. You have a full kitchen and bath upstairs in your showroom.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that, because it's kind of a hidden, you guys crush it with that business.
Yeah, we do over $1 million in sales every year. And a lot of it is contractor based, because they're coming in, it's the same contractors sending their customers in. Mm-hmm. But it's so strange when a local person comes in and asks for something. I'm like, oh yeah, we'll take you up to the kitchen and bath showroom. They can help you up there. And like, kitchen and bath? And then you walk up there and it's amazing. We have kitchen displays. We have a huge flooring display. We have some shower stalls on display, everything. It's just so nice. But just some people just have no idea.
How do you get all those displays upstairs? You have like a loading area?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
We have a loading area on both sides of the building.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to see pictures of that. That's amazing. We talked a little bit during our prep about a proud moment for you when Mr. Karen stopped you and told you how proud of you he was. And I know that you were an integral part of the acquisition and all of that. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with him and what that meant to you.
I don't know. I mean, we've just always just hit it off and everything. And he's been retired for quite a while, and he comes up every summer and he's up there for a few months. And Mike we had just had dinner with him like 2 weeks before that, and he does all this wine corking stuff as a hobby. So anyway, he had given me a couple of items that night, but he ended up making me an L, and he came up to see me because he's leaving for Florida next week. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he came up into the office, and I'm like, oh gosh. I said, look at my desk. I said, we're doing inventory. And he's like, oh, I'm so proud of you. And then, we had just hired some new employees. So we took him down and introducing himself to all the employees. And we had done some different changes. So, I mean, he hugged me and he says, I'm so proud of you. And very emotional time.
Well, it's incredible. You've won awards with Nation's Best. You won the Lighthouse Award. You have been very much someone, it seems, that he should be proud of in your career.
Thank you.
And very dedicated. And I can feel the heart that you have for what you're doing and the passion of that. You're really leading the next chapter. What excites you the most about what you have next in your career, but also what you're leading at Karen?
So I think the one thing that's always been instilled with all of us is the customer service aspect of it. And just understanding what all that means. Mm-hmm. And Nation's Best is definitely giving us a lot of tools to keep that going. So that was always one of, the Karen family's things was customer service. And I'm hoping that, I tried to make a couple of changes at the beginning of the year because I visited so many stores and saw how other places were set up and navigated. So I kind of tried to make a couple of changes, and it didn't work. Change is hard to get people to buy into, and I definitely got maybe a little pushback. But so I said, okay, that's fine. So we'll go back and do it this way, and and I'm hoping that this new change brings us back to the more customer service. So I think it's very important that customer service is like the top priority.
Yeah, I agree. And I think those customers, especially contractors that come back every single week or every day, it's important that they feel like you're reducing friction in their business and making their life easier. How do you see in the future, there's so many options out there. How does the independent business continue to thrive? Is it customer service? What else is it that makes you win in the long term?
I definitely think it's customer service, because you go to these big box stores and you just don't get the customer service. A little off the topic conversation. My husband and I were shopping for a computer one time, and we went into like a Staples. Yeah. He picked up one of those computers that had an alarm on it. Now, we had been in there for quite a while. Nobody came over and asked us for customer service. He actually picks up a computer, sets off the alarm. Person comes over, shuts off the alarm, and walks away.
What?
Yeah. So it's like when I think about that, and so I think about these chains.
That's unbelievable.
I know. And we were out of town once. We had to go into a Home Depot to get the smallest item. And you ask somebody where it was, and they tell you. You get there, it's not there. Then you got to find somebody else and tell you. So we are really good about people walk in the door, We greet them. We ask them what they're working on. We walk them to the product. We do all of that. We offer free delivery. Our kitchen design is free design. We do plans for customers from start to finish.
Wow.
So we offer all those services, and I think that means a lot to people coming in.
Yeah, you're giving them more than you have to, and they realize and recognize that. I love it. Well, you told me that after 37 years, you still love what you do, and you're getting up and still loving it. What advice would you have for someone who wants to build a career that they love, and maybe they're starting, or maybe then in the middle or towards the end? But what is your advice to people that want to love the career they're in?
My husband always says that. He goes, "You're so happy that you love your job." And I think I'm in a unique situation, right? So, everybody's going to walk into a job and not really sure, what they're looking for. But this was like a welcoming family. We had amazing employees, the customers. It's just rewarding. You go in, you just like the people, you see the people, and you strive to help the people. I don't know. I can't say that everybody can love their job like the way I learned to love my job, but I hope that people can be happy as I am.
That's amazing. Well, you are an incredible woman, and I'm inspired by you. I hope that you continue to thrive and do all the amazing things that you're doing at Nation's Best. You deserve all the awards that you're getting, and I'm proud of you for continuing on since they've been, now it's from a family business to Nation's Best, but I can't wait to see what you do with them. And I hope you have a great night tonight at the Hat Bar. We're having dueling pianos.
I know, we're going to have a good time.
I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know what I'm going to request on the dueling pianos, so I got to think about that. It's always hard to pick a song,
It is hard.
You got to pick which one you want. Well, thank you for joining me on the Grit Blueprint podcast.
Thank you for having me.
And I will see you soon.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Grit Blueprint podcast. If this episode helped you think a little differently about how to show up, share it with someone in your building world who needs it. If you're ready to turn visibility into growth, then head to gritblueprint.com to learn more and book a call to talk to us about your growth strategy. Until next time, stay unmistakable.